Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today, I want to ask you a serious question. Do you trust the SIG P320 or do you not? And why or why not? Do you not trust it because of the issues that people are talking about? Did the FBI report stun you? Because, some people are contacting me today saying that total moron, Guns and Gadgets, who I've never met anyone freaking dumber than that guy, is saying, oh, in the report, they made it fire 3 times when it shouldn't have. No, they didn't say that at all. He's misrepresenting the report. They said that they used a sear push test to make it fire, and that should fire when you push the sear off of a cocked firing pin. That's what should happen. That's what the trigger does. So he's misrepresenting it. I honestly think he's one of the gun channels that's taken Bloomberg money and other anti-gun money to do things like this, because I can't believe anyone, even him, is that stupid. But as I said, it's back in the news where the FBI report came out and people are misrepresenting it. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's so dangerous. I want to know, what do you think? Do you trust it? Do you own one? Would you trust it if you didn't own one or did own one, whatever? Let me know, and let me know why or why not. I will say right now, God, no, I don't trust the SIG P320, but not because of any design flaws or anything wrong with it. I don't want a gun that has a cocked striker and has no safety. I don't trust myself not to hit the trigger with something or forget, and maybe like, oh, touch the trigger with my finger, forget my safety training and do something stupid. I don't trust myself. I like to have a little layer of safety there. I like to have a heavy double action trigger, or I like to have a manual safety or something like that, that if my brain goes fart for a second, I don't actually shoot myself or something else accidentally. SIG P320 doesn't have that. SIG P320 is made for someone who wants a gun that goes off right away. It's kind of like people who carry 1911s with no safety. You can do that. It's totally safe. If it's in your holster, it's not going to go off. I wouldn't do it because you've removed the one layer of safety that it has, that and the grip safety, but I don't really count that. So if you want to do that, that's fine, but it does make the gun scarier, in my opinion. And the same thing with the P320. If you can handle it, carry it. If you can't, don't. But that's no fault of the gun. It works as designed. And unfortunately, some people can't understand that. And some people have different agendas and different reasons to promote the fear-mongering and damaging the manufacturing community, etc. I don't. So I don't believe any of the garbage. Haven't seen any evidence. But I've seen a lot of people spouting a bunch of BS, but no evidence. So I trust it to work as it was designed, but I wouldn't carry one because I don't trust myself with it. But let's see if anybody else agrees or disagrees with me over here. Let's get over here and see what's going on. John Heasley chimed in, says, I have 2 P320s. They've both been nice so far. Well, don't piss them off. Piss them off, you know what's going to happen. And I know you tend to piss people off, so I'm surprised they haven't got you already. Motor Racer Chris says, I don't trust SIG after they discontinued 38 Super. Nobody wants 38 Super. Get off it. Go back to Mexico with that 38 Super. That's the thing they should deport, is the 38 Super. It don't do nobody no good. Ghost Shadow says, no, fully cocked striker without safety. Yeah, that's exactly. No for me too. I don't trust that platform. And not just because if you pull the trigger, it's going to go off, but because there's nothing if something did go wrong to keep it from going off. So I don't want it to do it. Even if you don't just pull the trigger, like if something gets in your trigger guard or something hits the gun, blah, 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 hard enough to manually activate the trigger. I don't want to deal with that. Sean Bain, Capt Ritus beat us. I would not trust the P320 as a carry gun, trigger too light and no safety. As a drawer gun with the trigger scabbard, yes. Well, yeah, I'll trust it as a door. I've got one on the wall right here. I'm not afraid it's going to jump up and shoot me or anything. Well, I am a little afraid of that, but that's a separate issue. I'm also afraid that my Berettas are going to shoot me, especially because they have Italian tempers. but no more so afraid of the SIG than any of my other guns for that. Where was I at? What did I just say? Yeah, there we go. Ghost Shadow says, even the cheap ass Jennings had a safety. It was a fully cocked striker fired gun. Yes, it was. And it did have safety. It had a safety. It was safe. It was easier to not shoot yourself with. Well, the fact that it probably wouldn't fire. Unfortunately, that's the thing with the SIG. When you accidentally pull the trigger, accidentally activate that trigger, it is going to fire. That's a negative in this case. Gummy Wuzzle said, yes, if anything, now I want one out of spite. Yeah, I almost want one out of spite too, but not bad enough to go buy one because I don't want to shoot myself in the buttocks. And where I carry, I could, if I pulled it out and it went off, I could shoot myself in the buttocks if I hit the trigger. And or if I was holstering it and hit the trigger, I could shoot myself. I don't want to graze my stinker with the 9. Mr. Furley says, yes, it's sour grapes anger over lost market share. It does mostly come from, it really started with the Glock tards. The people who love Glock, they can't accept that there's a gun that's taken market share away from Glock. It was bound to happen, and it's happened. Deal with it. Doesn't make Glock any lesser of a gun, or it just means they weren't as good as people pretended they were, but never were. They never were that good. They were just good. And they still are good. But it is mostly Glock tards that do that. And like I said, unfortunately, if you watched our chat last night, you see how we talked about how people who saw profit potential in the negativity jumped on it. And even groups like the Bloomberg groups, the Giffords groups, they see a potential in this kind of negativity to damage the gun manufacturers and to change laws because of it. Using it to try to get rid of protections for the manufacturers, etc. So they're actually paying people to amplify it. So that is a negative. And I think one of them is guns and gadgets. That's my own personal opinion. I don't see any other reason why he would drastically misrepresent the report like he supposedly did. Now, keep in mind, if he didn't say what the people that are saying he said, if he didn't say that and they misunderstood him, well, then he's smarter than I think he is. But if he said what they're saying he said, well, he's either the dumbest fucker on YouTube or he's a shill for the anti-gunners. He is very much into the division and the sowing fear and all this other stuff. So he doesn't seem like he ever wants to do anything positive for the gun community. And he is a cop. So it all adds up to me, but that's my own personal opinion. Peter D says, of course not. It's 9mm, but yeah, I trust it to not fire itself. Guns don't do that, or it would be the most technologically advanced gun ever. I want one that will do. I want a SIG P320 that will do that because, I want to leave it in my car, but I don't want to holster it or hide it. I just want to set it right there on the center console. And if anybody tries to break in, it can blow them away. And then I just have to come back and be like, oh, I have to replace my window. Oh, if I could teach it to roll the window down first, that would be even better. Wonder if you could do that. Or get it like a chip put in them to where they could activate the windows before they fired. That would be good. See, we're thinking here potential products. Donald W. Donnie said, people accidentally shooting themselves with striker-fired pistols since they came out. I use the safety on my striker-fired pistols just like my rifle. Or I like that double-action, single-action one from Walther, that was it anti-stress trigger, the P99AS. Now, that was a good way to deal with it, too. I like that because it decocked the striker. And you had to fully pull the trigger to cock it back, and then it stayed partially cocked for every shot after that. But that, to me, is the way to do it. I do not want a fully cocked striker. Not a big fan. But yes, you're right. People have been doing that for many, many years. Tex Grebner, he didn't use a P320 when he shot himself in the leg. All those cops back in the late 80s, they didn't use P320s when they shot themselves and claimed the guns were going off on their own. That was Glocks that they were using when they were claiming that. Or when they were claiming they exploded if you tried to shoot them. That was Glocks. George Powell, I trust it more than Glocks. I said, I trust a Glock just fine, except I don't trust them to not drinking beer. I don't have any beer because I don't drink it, but they find it somewhere. I don't trust them to not go through my personal belongings. I don't trust them to not start shit with neighbors, stuff like that, but I trust them not to go off on me and to work properly. Danny Pint Pennant Pint said, yes, but not myself. It shoots super fast, though. It does shoot very fast. That's one of the main points of the design. You can shoot faster with that gun than you can most guns on the market. And that's important to a lot of people. But unfortunately, the same people that shooting fast is important to are also the same people that like to shove their gun down in front of their pants and like to slam it back in there and do the little with loaded guns, which is fucking retarded. Oop, I said the F word. I think I might have said it a couple times during this chat, but I tried not to. Avo357. G-Webs cusses enough for all of us when he's on. He's a potty mouth. Good evening, Yanks. I want to get my second SIG pistol. This would be my second and only SIG pistol, and I already have a SIG P229 and 40. Which model would you recommend me getting? The P220 and 10 millimeter. Get you the two-tone double action, single action. It's freaking awesome. I would get one. I would say get a P226, but that's too similar to what you have. The 229. Get the P220 and get it in 10 millimeter. Or I feel like Horseshack here. Get the P210. Get the carry one. The carry P210. I got the Target and I kicked myself because I didn't wait for the carry one. SIG P210. Right there. That's your answer. SIG P210. Paul B said, hail Phil, have a P230 and a P238. Would trust it. Well, I trust it too. I wouldn't want to have it, but I trust it. I trust it to do what it's supposed to do. Let's just say that. Paul Rollerson chimed in and didn't say nothing. He made a donation here, but didn't say nothing. Why does he got to pick? Is that like, first I thought it was Jimmy Carter. Now I think it's a televangelist. Who's in his icon there? Looks like a televangelist. Mark Black says, no, there's others, better options out there. Well, yeah, I agree 100% better options. That don't mean I don't trust it. I trust it to work the way it's supposed to. I just wouldn't want it. Tim Jackson says, I don't trust a P320. I can get other guns without the controversy. Also, Kendra sent an email about the shirt. It was from a super chat on 5/1/24. I will look and see if I can find that. I'll search for it right now real quick to see. Kendra. Was it Butler? Was it Kendra Butler? I'm not see. I see something she sent about making some barbecue ribs, but that's all I see. Well, I also see one where she said, okay, here's why she never got one. I got the email right here. I would love a shirt. I like big comfy ones, so give me a 2XL. But she never said what design she wanted. And then I forget about things like that. So just tell her I need to know what design, and then need to know if that address is still good. In Florissant. Is that Montana? MO? What is MO? I don't know. But let me get back over here to the chat. You can get or put a safety on the P320. Can you? I didn't. Well, you can get one. I know. I didn't know you could put one on it, but I guess you could. I would want one on it. I mean, if I was going to have one, I'd want one on it. But if I was going to carry it, yeah, it'd have to have a safety. We got one more person weighing in here, and then it looks like we are done for today on this. Sweetie chimed in and says, I'm not convinced either way about the SIG P320. Well, I don't know. I think it's a big, ugly gun that I don't want anything to do with either way. Well, that I can agree with. Yeah, it's not pretty. Well, the one I have, the AGX, the all-metal one, is kind of pretty. I will have to say. I can't show it to you or I'd get in a lot of trouble. Yeah. It's not that pretty on its own. I'll say that. There's better options out there. It's just other things you can get. And I would suggest you get it. Something else. Especially not if you can't handle that kind of a gun. So far, it looks like I think most people trust it. There's only a couple people didn't, and I don't know if they don't trust it because it's, they think it's faulty or because they just don't like the way it's designed. So not sure on that. But I want to thank everybody for weighing in. That'll do it for today as far as the shooting the shit episode goes. I will be doing the America Guns and Freedom immediately after this, so stick around. How about you out there in YouTube land? What do you think? Did I miss Felicia Denise? Hold on. Did she say something up here and did I miss her? I thought I read something from her. Now there's one popped up at the bottom. Well, if I didn't read it, I'll read it now. The preponderance of reports raises an eyebrow. That's the thing. There isn't a preponderance of reports. There's a few incidents where cops shot themselves and then people turned it into something that isn't. It's same, like just the only difference between when it happened with Glocks and when it happened now with P320 is one, there was no big anti-gun groups to push the agenda, and two, there was no YouTube. So that's the only difference between then and now. It's a cyclical bunch of garbage that just keeps going around and around. But as I was saying, thanks everybody for weighing in. Thanks everybody for coming. How about you out in YouTube land? Do you trust the P320, the Pig 320, or not? And why or why not? Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to our live chat. We do them every night at 6 p.m. Come for the shooting the shit and stay for the open chat afterwards. Hope to see everybody here tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.